Have you ever felt like you're carrying invisible weights? The kind that don't show on your shoulders, but sit quietly in your heart. Old regrets. Hidden anger. The pressure to be perfect. They follow us, even as we age. Especially as we age. But what if the path to peace isn't about adding more to your life? It's about letting go. Buddha once said, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. In this video, we're going to explore 11 powerful things you should quietly remove from your life, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. These aren't quick fixes or trendy tips. They are gentle truths that can help you breathe easier, live lighter, and return to the peace that's always been within you. So find a quiet moment. Sit with your heart. And let's begin this journey, one lesson at a time. Lesson 1, you don't need to explain yourself to people who hurt you. There comes a time in life, especially as we get older, when we realize this simple truth: not everyone deserves an explanation. When someone has caused you pain, deep emotional pain, it's natural to want to defend your actions, to justify your feelings, to be understood. But here's the hard truth: some people hurt us not because they don't understand us, but because they simply don't care to. Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." When we try to explain ourselves to those who've already chosen to disregard our feelings, we often stir up more frustration than peace. It's like shouting into the wind, hoping it will turn back and carry your words to someone who walked away long ago. This lesson isn't about bitterness. It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your peace of mind isn't something you have to trade for someone else's approval. Some people won't hear your heart no matter how clearly you speak. And that's okay. Instead of seeking validation from those who hurt you, turn inward. Give yourself the compassion you were hoping to receive from others. Use that energy to heal, to grow, to become stronger. As we age, we learn that dignity sometimes means saying less, not more. Letting go of the need to explain isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It means you've learned to value your well-being over being right in someone else's story. You don't have to relive your pain just to make someone else see it. You are allowed to move forward quietly, peacefully, and without permission. So the next time you're tempted to explain yourself to someone who's wounded you, pause. Breathe. And remember, you don't owe clarity to those who have chosen not to care. Your healing is not their responsibility. It's yours, and it begins with letting go. Lesson 2, protect the quiet endings of relationships. As we look back over the years, most of us carry the memories of relationships that didn't last. Some ended peacefully, others with pain. And in those moments after parting ways, whether with a friend, a partner, or even family, it can feel tempting to talk about what happened, to share the details, to explain why it ended. But not everything that ends needs to be narrated out loud. Buddha taught us, speak only words that are kind, that are welcomed, and that bring no harm. When we speak of a past relationship, especially one that ended with hurt or misunderstanding, we risk turning that private chapter into public pain, not only for the other person but for ourselves as well. Oversharing the end of a relationship often comes from a desire to feel seen or validated. But true healing rarely comes from telling our side over and over. In fact, the more we replay it out loud, the more we remain attached to the wound. Every time we repeat the story, we relive the pain. And sometimes, we unintentionally hurt others who don't need to be part of it, our friends, our families, or even the one we left behind. With age comes wisdom, and part of that wisdom is knowing what to say, when to say it, and when silence holds more grace. There is dignity in restraint. There is kindness in withholding blame. And there is strength in choosing peace over gossip. This isn't about suppressing your truth. You can journal. You can confide in a trusted soul. You can reflect in prayer or meditation. But before speaking publicly or widely about the ending of a relationship, ask yourself, is this helpful? Or is this just noise? Every relationship we've had, no matter how it ended, shaped who we are. We can honor that quietly. Not every goodbye needs a stage. Some of the most sacred healing happens in the silence that follows a broken bond. So next time you feel the urge to explain why it ended or paint your version of the past, pause. Honor the ending. Let it teach you. And let your silence be a sign of grace, not defeat. Lesson 3. Let go of unnecessary goals. As we journey through life, especially in the later chapters, we come to understand something most of us never realized in youth. Not all goals are worth chasing. Buddha once said, "The trouble is, you think you have time." These words hit harder as the years go by. We often live like time is unlimited, filling our calendars with to-do lists, obligations, and aspirations, many of which don't truly serve us. Modern life praises productivity, ambition, and constant achievement. But how many of our goals are actually rooted in meaning? How many are driven by pressure, ego, or fear of falling behind? You might ask yourself, do I pursue this because it brings me joy, or because I feel I should? Is this goal connected to my values, or is it just noise from the outside world? Letting go of unnecessary goals is not giving up, it's growing up. It's having the courage to say, this no longer aligns with who I am. When we release goals that don't reflect our soul, we make space for the things that do: meaningful relationships, spiritual growth, peace of mind, moments of stillness. Imagine your energy like a candle. Every goal you commit to burns a little of that flame. When too many wicks are lit, the fire dims fast. But when you choose wisely, when you focus only on what nourishes your heart, the light grows brighter. This lesson from Buddha reminds us that simplifying is powerful. A simpler life is not empty, it's spacious. It's filled with clarity, intention, and presence. So take a quiet moment to review what you're holding on to. What are you chasing that no longer belongs to you? What can you lay down to walk lighter? You don't need to be everything. You just need to be you. And that is more than enough. Lesson 4. Don't raise your voice in anger. There's a moment we've all faced. The pulse quickens, the breath shortens, and before we know it, we've raised our voice, not always to be heard, but to release the storm building inside. In those moments, it might feel justified, even necessary. But Buddha offered us a timeless warning. Holding on to anger is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it. It is you who gets burned. Raising your voice during frustration might feel like strength, but more often, it only creates distance, defensiveness, and regret. Words said in anger linger. They echo long after the moment passes, leaving wounds that apologies can't always mend. When you speak in anger, especially in front of others, you often lose more than you gain. You might damage trust, escalate conflict, or teach others that your love comes with conditions. Worse still, you rob yourself of peace. So what's the alternative? Buddha's teachings point us to a deeper kind of strength. Patience. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about understanding them, letting them pass through you without taking over your actions. Next time you feel anger rise, pause. Step away. Breathe. Give yourself space. Speak later, when your heart has returned to stillness. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Over time, you'll find something beautiful. Your silence in moments of fire becomes a sanctuary. You protect yourself and those around you. You model calmness. You build relationships, rather than burn bridges. True power isn't in shouting, it's in choosing not to. And the reward is far more lasting: dignity, self-control, and the quiet kind of peace that no one can take from you. Lesson 5. Stop comparing yourself to others. It's one of the quietest ways we hurt ourselves, comparing our lives to others. In this age of constant updates, smiling photos, and stories of success, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing we're somehow behind, or simply not enough. But Buddha, with his deep insight into the human mind, offered a different path. He taught that jealousy and envy arise when we fail to see the beauty of our own journey. When we measure our worth by someone else's timeline or highlight reel, we forget the value of our unique story. Every life moves at its own pace. Some people bloom early, others much later. Some face storms we never see, while others carry invisible burdens. Comparing your path to theirs is like comparing the moon to the sun. They shine at different times, for different reasons. Ask yourself, what does comparison bring you? More often than not, it delivers anxiety, low self-esteem, and a constant feeling of inadequacy. It robs you of gratitude for what you have and blinds you to how far you've actually come. The antidote isn't arrogance, it's self-acceptance. It's knowing that you are enough, not because you match someone else's success, but because you are living with honesty, courage, and heart. Instead of looking outward, turn inward. Reflect on your growth. Celebrate your small victories. Remember your resilience. That's where true confidence is born, not from being better than anyone else, but from being fully yourself. So the next time you find yourself scrolling, comparing, or feeling behind, pause. Breathe. And whisper gently, "My journey is my own, and that is more than enough." You don't have to prove anything to anyone. The only person you're becoming is you, and that is your sacred path. Lesson 6. Use social media mindfully. In today's digital world, it's easy to lose ourselves in endless scrolling. A few minutes on social media quickly turn into an hour. We jump from video to video, post to post, seeking entertainment, distraction, or connection. But at what cost? Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. When we consume content unconsciously, day after day, we are shaping our thoughts, and therefore, shaping our lives. Social media isn't inherently bad. It can be a beautiful space to learn, connect, and share joy. But when used without intention, it becomes a trap. It can fuel comparison, anxiety, loneliness, even anger. It's like feeding your mind junk food and wondering why your heart feels heavy afterward. Mindful use means pausing before you open the app. Asking yourself, am I using this to connect or to escape? Is this content nourishing me or draining me? How do I feel after spending time here? Start small. Unfollow pages that bring negativity. Follow people and content that uplift, educate, or inspire you. Set boundaries for screen time. Turn off notifications. Be intentional with what you share. Let it reflect your values, your kindness, your truth. And most importantly, don't let your worth be measured in likes, comments, or shares. You are not your online profile. You are a full, breathing, feeling human being with depth no algorithm can capture. Buddha's wisdom reminds us that we become what we focus on. So let your time online be a reflection of your truest self, not a reaction to the noise around you. In a world filled with noise, mindfulness is power. And your attention? It's one of the most valuable things you own. Guard it wisely. Lesson 7. Stop seeking constant validation. It's a natural desire. We all want to feel seen, heard, and valued. From childhood to old age, the longing for approval lingers in different forms: praise from a parent, recognition at work, admiration from friends, or likes on a post. But when our happiness depends on that validation, we hand over the keys to our self-worth. Buddha gently reminds us, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This isn't just a beautiful thought, it's a guiding truth. Because if you don't see your own worth, no amount of praise from others will ever feel like enough. The trouble with relying on external validation is that it's fragile. It shifts with moods, opinions, trends. One moment you're admired, the next you're forgotten or misunderstood. And suddenly, your peace crumbles with someone else's disapproval. But validation from within? That's unshakable. It comes from knowing who you are. Flaws, strengths, and all. It comes from living in alignment with your values. From being kind when no one's watching. From doing what's right even when it's not rewarded. This doesn't mean we reject connection or ignore compliments. It means we don't need them to feel complete. We stop performing and start being. We replace self-doubt with self-respect. And we build a quiet confidence that can't be taken away. So next time you catch yourself waiting for someone else's approval, pause. Ask yourself, what do I think about this? Does it feel right to me? That answer matters most. Remember, the relationship you have with yourself is the longest one you'll ever have. Make it honest. Make it loving. And let it be the place you always return to when the world feels uncertain. You are already enough. Even in silence. Even without applause. Lesson 8. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism often disguises itself as ambition. It whispers, you can do better. You can be better. And while growth is important, the endless pursuit of flawlessness can quietly drain the joy from your life. Buddha's teachings remind us of an essential truth: there is no perfection in this world, only the unfolding, moment by moment, of life as it is. When we cling to the idea that things must be perfect, our appearance, our performance, our relationships, we create tension. We set standards so high that no real human can reach them. And who suffers most from that pressure? We do. Perfectionism doesn't just make us tired, it makes us harsh with ourselves. We begin to see every small mistake as a failure. Every wrinkle as a flaw. Every imperfect moment as something to be fixed, instead of something to be felt and lived through. But life was never meant to be polished, it was meant to be present. Letting go of perfectionism isn't laziness. It's liberation. It's the choice to be kind to yourself. To say, this is good enough for now. To know that growth comes not from never falling, but from learning how to rise gently, again and again. And when you let go of needing everything to be perfect, something amazing happens. You begin to notice the beauty in the cracks. In the laughter that wasn't planned. In the stumble that taught you humility. In the imperfection that makes you real. The Japanese have a tradition called kintsugi, repairing broken pottery with gold, highlighting the cracks instead of hiding them. That's what life offers us too, not perfection, but grace. So the next time you feel you must get everything just right, pause. Breathe. And remember, the most beautiful things in life are never perfect, they're true. Lesson 9. Release unrealistic expectations. One of the quietest sources of suffering in life is this, expecting things to go exactly the way we imagined. Whether it's expecting someone to act a certain way, life to unfold in a straight line, or happiness to arrive once we reach a specific goal, these expectations often set us up for disappointment. Buddha taught, the root of suffering is attachment. And unrealistic expectations are just that, attachments to imagined outcomes, not realities. We create stories in our minds. My partner should always understand me, my children will live how I planned, my body must stay the same, life should be fair. But life doesn't follow our scripts. People change. Circumstances shift. The unexpected knocks on the door, and if we're clinging tightly to how things should be, we miss the beauty of how they are. Letting go of unrealistic expectations doesn't mean settling for less. It means opening your heart to what is. It means replacing control with curiosity, frustration with flexibility, and disappointment with acceptance. Imagine this, instead of expecting life to go one way, you meet each moment as it comes, with openness, even gratitude. Instead of being rigid, you become resilient. Instead of saying, this wasn't supposed to happen, you say, what can I learn from this? This shift brings peace, not because life becomes easier, but because you stop fighting against it. When you release unrealistic expectations, you give yourself permission to breathe, to grow, to appreciate the present instead of waiting for perfection. And in doing so, you find joy in the moment, not in the someday that never quite arrives. So if life hasn't turned out exactly as you planned, take heart, maybe it's becoming something more honest, more human, and more deeply yours. Lesson 10, avoid gossip and speak with intention. Words are powerful. They can heal or harm, uplift or destroy. Buddha once said, do not speak unless it improves upon the silence. In a world full of noise, this reminder couldn't be more timely. Gossip might seem harmless. Sometimes it even feels like a way to connect, sharing a little secret here, a complaint there. But beneath the surface, gossip carries a quiet poison. It erodes trust. It feeds judgment. And worst of all, it pulls us away from compassion. Think about the feeling after you've spoken ill of someone, even lightly. There's a subtle unease. A tension. That's your conscience calling you back to integrity. When we speak without intention, our words drift like smoke, spreading farther than we intended, often landing where we didn't expect. And in that smoke, relationships can get clouded. Respect gets lost. Kindness fades. But when we speak mindfully, the opposite happens. Our words become clear, purposeful, and healing. Even silence, when chosen with love, can be a powerful form of respect. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer isn't yes to all three, perhaps it's better left unsaid. And when someone gossips to you, you don't need to judge them. Just choose not to pass it along. Break the chain. Protect your peace. Speaking with intention isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about choosing words that align with your values, and staying quiet when that's the wiser path. So let your voice be a reflection of your heart. Let it be a tool for connection, healing, and truth. And may your silence, when chosen with care, speak just as powerfully. Lesson 11, live your life, not someone else's. At some point in life, we realize we've spent years trying to meet expectations that were never really our own. Maybe it was a career path chosen to please others, a personality shaped by fear of judgment, or a lifestyle that fit someone else's definition of success. And quietly, without noticing, we drifted from ourselves. Buddha taught the importance of walking one's own path. His teachings invite us to live from within, to listen to our hearts, not the noise of the world. But how do we come back to ourselves after years of people-pleasing or self-doubt? It begins with stillness. With asking, what do I truly value? What brings me peace? Who am I, when no one is watching? Living someone else's version of life can feel like wearing shoes that don't fit. No matter how polished they are, they'll always leave blisters. But when you begin to live honestly, according to your own rhythm and truth, something beautiful happens. Life starts to feel like it belongs to you again. This doesn't mean you disregard responsibilities or abandon your loved ones. It means you stop abandoning yourself. It means you make choices based on meaning, not just momentum. You allow your soul, not society, to guide your steps. In the later chapters of life, this lesson becomes even more precious. Time feels more valuable, and so does authenticity. There's no need to impress anymore, only to express. To live with heart, not hustle. To be true, rather than perfect. So if you've been living in someone else's story, it's not too late to rewrite your own. Start with small steps. A yes that feels honest. A no that protects your peace. A moment of silence where you once felt pressure to perform. Your life is not a role to be played, it's a gift to be lived. Fully. Freely. Faithfully. Conclusion. As we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to pause. Breathe in deeply, and let it go. Let go of the anger. Let go of the pressure. Let go of everything that was never truly yours to carry. Buddha never promised a life without suffering. But he did offer us a way to walk through it, gently, mindfully, and with grace. These 11 lessons are not rules, they are invitations. Invitations to come home to yourself. To release what no longer serves you. To create space, for peace, for joy, for presence. So which one spoke to you most? Which one will you start letting go of, today? If this video brought you even a little bit of clarity or calm, I invite you to like the video, it helps more people find this gentle wisdom. Subscribe to join our growing circle of reflection and kindness. And in the comments, share your own journey. What are you letting go of? Remember, you are not alone. We're all learning to live more lightly, one breath at a time.